Hey everybody, Selena Jade here. Full disclaimer, this video is going on both mine and Chris's channel. Link to them will be in the description below. This video is going to get rather serious rather quickly, and I'm sure both of us, you can probably speak for both of us when I say this, we're both going to be in a tirade of swears. Because this whole video is commentary on a video that we recently came across. I'm not exactly sure when it was published, but huge fucking shout out to, I'm just gonna say it, Rooster Teeth, for giving us the idea for this video, because this is a conversation that needs to be had. Okay? So, content warning, there will be a ton of swears.
And also sensitive topics due to race, sexuality, sexual orientation. So, trigger warning for anyone who is sensitive to that kind of stuff.
So, we heavily apologize for any language that y'all might be uncomfortable with or anything like that, but it's 2023. These things need to be talked about more. And I know myself, being a mental health and more importantly a equal rights and social justice activist, I want to get this off my chest because it needs to be said, it needs to be talked about, and it's not being talked about nearly enough. So with that disclaimer out of the way,
no intro.
Yeah, we're not even gonna have the intro card for this. Just enjoy us talking about this for however long this fucking video is.
And I don't know what is going to be in the background. We could just do just us talking right now. I could put some gameplay over it, but to make it a little bit more lighthearted, but we will just take it as it goes. And hopefully you guys enjoy this video anyway. Again, apologies for anyone that might get triggered by whatever we talk about. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like this, be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching once again. Let's get right into this.
Alright, so this is a video that I honestly never thought either me or Chris would have to make in the year 2023. But I feel like it's necessary only because some shit in the world has gone straight to hell. And I want to be perfectly clear. I don't give a damn what side of the political spectrum you stand on. I don't give a shit what your religious doctrine says or how it taught you to be as a person. There are some things as a basic, decent human being you should know just not to do. Number one is throw hate at someone for being a different color, a different gender, a different sexual orientation other than heterosexuality. This world is dominated by rich, straight, white men. And this is a problem that I personally have had for way too long now. So before I get into that side of things, I want to talk about one thing specifically. Race is a social construct. We as people came up with this idea that one person is unequal to us just because of the color of their skin. That's not true. So many people who are different color or are different nationalities, different ethnicities, they have done things that are great for this world. I mean, I want to bring up someone here who not a lot of people are willing to talk about in history right now, But, let's talk about Dr. Nathaniel Hale Williams. He was the first guy in America to perform an open heart surgery. This was in 1893, and this man did it. He did it. The guy who he was performing the surgery on survived. He was considered a great doctor, a great mind, and he was black. He was this great black doctor that no one had heard of up until he performed the world's first open heart surgery. Let's talk about... God, there are way too many in history. Fucking, Martin Luther King Jr., a great civil rights activist. This man believed in equality. Legit equality, where we don't have to fear this shit. People forget history way too often. And it's a shame that these people are not remembered more fondly. Except for in the communities where they seem to have the most effect. And I'm sick of it. I really, really am. I have experienced this firsthand. Allow me to take you back a number of years, if I may. I was probably about, 13, 14 years old when I first realized that I'm not just attracted to any one specific gender. You know? I was not just attracted to guys. I was not just attracted to girls, people who identified as cis male or female. I had feelings for people across the gender identity spectrum. And yeah, that made me a bit different, but I had so much shit thrown my way for it that there were days where I felt like I didn't belong, that I didn't even deserve to fucking have a voice or even just live a happy life. But I told myself that these people are jealous of me because they don't have the thing that I have that makes me happiest in life. And I had this conversation earlier with Chris. Like, I am the type of person where unless you are outside of my bubble and you come into my bubble and you physically, verbally, emotionally, or whatever, any type of shade or shit that's thrown my partner's ways is completely unacceptable. And I'll be the first to say it. I am not afraid of going to jail or prison for someone I love out of their honor. And it kills me that we're not willing to have this conversation anymore. We're so used to the world we live in being just a shitty, terrible place where one side of this conversation just wants to completely eradicate everything that this country has ever done and completely whitewash history, and the other wants to keep history alive. We can't even have a civil conversation about this without someone getting heated or without someone receiving death threats or even just being stalked online or people leaving terribly hateful comments in people's YouTubes or fucking Twitch streams or something like that. That's not the world I want to live in. In an ideal world, none of this would happen, but we as humans are social animals. And it's our social tribal nature to stick to people who are like us, who maybe look like us, or sound like us, or have the same beliefs as us. I don't believe in that. Tribalism died years ago. And I'm sure Chris is willing to agree with me on this. Because tribalism has no place in a modern world. I'm sorry.
It does not. 100% does not.
We attach ourselves to these notions only because we want to find a place to fit in. And most people nowadays just see that as, oh, well, humans being the way humans always have, or people of a certain nationality or race or anything like that, or ethnic background being the way that they are. I don't believe in that. And I mentioned this in the intro. Rooster Teeth gave us this idea because one of their employees came under fire, was having death threats and the N-word and things like that thrown her way because she is a black woman. And she's not straight. She is the literal polar opposite of a straight white male. This is not a world I want to live in. And the fact that I live in this world right now makes me question where we're going
as a society.
If we are creating new societal norms based off of history, then we should be learning from our past. I said this to Chris a little while ago, and it resonated with him. Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Tribalism is dead. Racism should have died. After JFK was assassinated, after everything he did for the African American community, after Lyndon B. Johnson signed into effect the Equal Rights Voting Act. It should not be like this. And I don't give a fuck where you stand on the whole, do I say something, do I not say something? Guess what? I've had that question for years. Because I get it, okay? According to society's norms, I am still considered a white male. But I'm not. I am a very, very proud person. I am a proud, non-binary, gender-fluid, pre-op trans girl. I am very proudly pansexual and polyamorous. And the fact that some dickwad, this fucking idiot, decided to question the legitimacy of someone's child. And that brings me to Jeff Ramsey, aka Jeff from Rooster Teeth. He's, from what I know of him, or from what I've seen of him, he seems like a genuinely decent human being who did not deserve that bullshit. And I want to make this known to whoever decides to believe a rumor about somebody before knowing the facts, or before knowing everything about the situation. Fuck you. You are morally detestable. And I want to make this perfectly clear. I do not condone this type of behavior. In fact, I denounce it. If you, as a human, can find it within your moral code to sit there and question the legitimacy of someone's offspring just because maybe their spouse or the mother of their child, I don't know, had affairs or something like that, I don't know. Okay? I'm not Jerry Springer. I'm not fucking Maury Povich opening up an envelope telling somebody you're not the father. But what I do know is that that is just a moral low. A kick in the balls to the person who raised that child. It's just you as a human being. If you do something like that, you're no longer human. You have become what we would call a monster. You are morally detestable. You are just, in a human way, detestable on every single level. And I realize we live in a world where just 7 years ago, we elected someone who did this constantly. But at the same time, I don't give a damn about that. What I give a damn about is a moral thing that we have seemed to lose over the last, say, 10 years, give or take.
Yeah.
There is no respect for someone's fellow human being. Because, like I said earlier, race is a social construct. There is no different. There's nothing different in any one human being than the amount of a chemical called melanin in our skin. Some people have more melanin than others, and that's fine. That does not make them incapable of learning things, or incapable, or even just unworthy of living a happy, fulfilled life.
And I know I should have mentioned this earlier, but if you guys are just here for the multiplayer gameplay and the zombies gameplay, if you guys are just here to watch that, at least try to listen to what my partner and fellow YouTuber Selena, by the way, her link will be in the description box below. If you guys are just here for the gameplay, if you guys don't really care, click off this video. If you guys do, or if you guys are here for the commentary, just thank you guys so much for listening. I know we're probably going to get a lot of shit for this, but it needs to be said. So, Selena, back to you.
Yeah. I can't wrap my head around why you as a human being would even want to say the things that you would say to someone who raised that child as their very own and didn't give a damn if they were or were not the father. Because guess what? There are some incredibly decent human beings out there. And I want to share a story with everyone that Chris is just hearing for the first time. Because I feel like this needs to be said.
Should I put a trigger warning thing on the screen?
No.
Okay.
For the first few days after I moved here to Chicago from where I lived prior, which was a small town in Indiana. I'm not going to name the specific name. I was living with a friend, and my friend helped me get up here when my initial thought of getting here fell through. I was on the phone with Chris, and I was crying my eyes out because I desperately wanted to get out of the situation I was in, but I didn't realize that there would be so many helpful people. You know, people help people if they can, you know, and we as Midwesterners know this. Anyone who lives in the Midwest knows this. But I had just gotten off of a train from, I think it was Arlington Park.
Arlington Heights.
Well, it was different. I was closer to Palatine.
Okay.
But anyways.
We shouldn't be
having this.
We shouldn't
Yeah.
be naming
Anyways,
names of towns.
I had just gotten off of a train to Chicago.
To blank.
To
We're not cutting that
X,
out.
yeah.
We're not cutting that out.
And I needed to find a place to at least, you know, take temporary shelter for a bit. And I walked over to another train station, and one of the kindest guys I've ever met didn't know me, but this dude who was a cop for Amtrak stopped me and said, "Hey, just letting you know, man, this specific section of the station is closed." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I just moved down here a few days ago, and I don't have really any money in my name, and I don't have anywhere to go." And this guy saw that I was carrying a lot of luggage and knew that I couldn't go to where he told me to go until unless it was by car or something like that, and he knew I didn't have any money. And this guy legit reached into his pocket, handed me a $20 bill, and said, "Get yourself a cab and go to this specific destination, and use what's left to get you something to eat, kid." And so I walked into where the guy told me to go. The cab was stupid expensive. It was like $20, and that's all I had. And I spoke to a CPD officer, Chicago PD, the legit Chicago PD, not the TV show. Sorry, just trying to lighten the mood there.
Had to point that out.
Had to point it out. Anyways, but I spoke to an officer at the front desk of one of the police stations here in Chicago, and he told me that all I had to do was call this number, who would give me, hopefully, a chance at finding a place to go, so that I wouldn't just be out in the streets in the middle of fucking March. You know, it gets cold in the Midwest in March.
Damn right.
And so, I called the number, and I stayed at that specific police station for 2-3 days, and yeah, there was a guy there who really made me question my decision to even be there in the first place, or even move to Chicago. But, you know, I made a phone call, and I said, "Hey, is there any way that I could come to your shelter?" And they said yes, and all I had to do was get the Salvation Army back on the phone, and they would come pick me up, and I would be good, ready to go. And I'm getting off track with that, but I'm not going to name the name of the shelter I was at either, because I don't want anyone in my family to know about that, at least for now. But what I'm trying to say here is that the dude who gave me that $20 bill to help me out was a black guy. He didn't have to do that, because he knew what this country has done to his ancestors, to his great 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 grandma or grandpa, or his cousins X amount of times removed. The point is, he didn't have to do that, but he did. Because there are still some genuinely amazing people on this planet. They're just even fewer and farther between than they used to be. And it rattles my mind that we just, even as a society, can't figure out when to shut the fuck up or when to speak up. So this is a challenge, not just to my audience or to Chris's audience or to anyone who's just watching this video because they got stuck down a rabbit hole. This is a challenge to all of society. Step up or step aside. Step up and take action and speak up when you see or hear something horrendous like this go down, or shut the fuck up and let the people who are willing to do something about it step up to the cause. And if you are a true social justice warrior, I commend you for the things that you do on a daily basis, but we gotta step it up a notch, people. 'Cause the society we have built for ourselves and for the future of this country is going to shit. Very, very quickly. And it's going to continue down that shithole until it's too late. And there will be no future for our kids or for us. And I applaud Jeff and all of the guys from Rooster Teeth who spoke up about the hate that their friend was receiving. That gave me faith in humanity. And I also want to mention something too. There's a TikTok that Chris showed me a while back of this very, very racist man who decided that he didn't want to be served or given medical assistance from people who worked at a fucking hospital, despite the fact that they went to the same fucking medical school and got the same degrees and licensing that it took to be a doctor.
And he refused their service just because they were of East Asian descent.
Or Middle Eastern Europe.
Yes.
Who knows? But that is not the world I want. I want a world where we don't have to be afraid to speak up. And to all of you social justice warriors who stand for defunding the police, while I don't entirely disagree with you, I also don't entirely agree. And this is going down another rabbit hole, I know, but
yeah. Just keep it going.
Yeah. We need to either train our police better to be better equipped for these things that come up and to handle the new and changing norms of society. Because it's not everyone. It's just certain people. And quite frankly, I'm fucking sick of it. And if I ever bring a child into this world, I can guarantee you they are not going to be born in this country. I will not, under any circumstances, let this country's idea of social justice and social reform tarnish my child's ability to lead a happy, healthy, fulfilled life just because some bastard with a cloak or a coat or a high office in this country decided to say that they don't have the right to fucking exist. Or because some bastard on the internet wants to sit there and dox and troll and be who they are just to get under people's skin. I don't normally call for deplatforming. I agree with another fellow YouTuber named Owen Morgan. He agrees with me on this sentiment, and we agree with each other, that all bad ideas should be brought to the forefront and spoken about until it gets to a certain level. And that level ends at extremism. I'm telling you now, if we don't start deplatforming the same people who legit called Jeff's ex-wife a whore, or questioned the legitimacy of his child, that it was his, or if we don't take away the voices of those who are meant and only meant to cause us pain, we are part of the problem. We are no longer a nation of freedom. So anyways, guys, I know for my channel, I like to keep it more lighthearted and more goofy, but I've been holding on to this for too long. And there are some things I didn't mention because it's something in my family that I can't control, and I just have to live with it. But I can say something about it. And I know for Chris's audience, this is definitely not the video that they were expecting.
No.
At the fuck all.
No.
Two social justice warriors just finally having enough of this bullshit. But what's said is said, what's done is done. And by the time this video comes out, I realize this is going to be probably the video that gets both of us a ton of shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we don't give a shit. We want a world where no one has to be afraid to speak up about this anymore. And we might just be two small-time YouTubers, fuck. But at the same time, bigger YouTubers have talked about this before. And have talked about this same shit. So, please, heed our words and take them to heart. Because this is not just about race or gender anymore. It's about everything. It's about just, even just basic human decency. We need to bring that back. So, please, if you agree with me, this is the only time I'm going to ask for this in a comments section for either of us. Amen in the comments. If you agree, amen. Anyways, guys, for my channel, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you were just here for the gameplay, you know, that's fine. If you didn't give a shit about anything I said, you really should have clicked off this video. And if you're still watching this, waiting for the game to come back, why the fuck are you still here? Not trying to make any jokes out of the situation, but yeah. So anyways, that's all for me, guys, and I will see y'all next time.
Alright, guys. And for my channel, thank you guys so much for watching this video. A link to Selena's channel will be in the description box below, as well as my channel will be on her channel. Okay, that's not going to make any sense. We'll both have each other's respective channels in the description box below. Stay tuned for another Clone Hero video coming out, because I'm posting this on the same day that I'm going to do a Clone Hero video. So if you guys want to watch that instead of this, be my guest. But if you did enjoy this video and you want to let your voice be heard, same thing for me. Let's get an amen in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. Full Album Fridays coming out tomorrow. And thank you guys so much again, and peace out. No outro for this video, but there will be 2 videos on the screen right now if you haven't seen them yet. Peace.